Let's have a look at this calculation, and I'm sure this will help you decide whether to go for a diesel or a petrol engine. Hello everyone, this is Srikanth Rajan from ARPRO Academy and welcome back to yet another interesting video. Well, today's topic is something very important to people who are looking to purchase a brand new car. Well, it has always been a discussion whether to go for a diesel engine or a petrol engine. Well, let's clear that myth out today. In our previous video, we spoke about the different parts and functions of a car. If you missed that video, immediately click on the link here to watch that. So coming to discussion on petrol and diesel engine, let me first tell you about the petrol engine. Petrol engines are very commonly found on smaller vehicles because they are generally smaller in size. Not only they are smaller in size and weight, but also they can produce a high amount of power compared to a diesel engine of same size. But then how does it affect us? Let us understand that. To understand this better, first we need to understand the terminologies power and torque. Let's look at power first. Power is generally measured in units like HP, bhp or kilowatt, where HP means horsepower, bhp means brake horsepower. To make it simple, let us understand it this way. Higher the power in a vehicle, the top speed would be much higher. Higher the power, higher the speed. Similarly, if you look at torque, torque is directly proportional to the pickup. So higher the torque, higher would be the pickup in the vehicle. Now coming to Indian scenario, which one do you think is more useful to us? Of course, the most important thing for us, even that be in, of course, for us, be it in city or highways, one of the most important factors would be a torque because that gives us good pickup. In city, when you're driving through thick traffic, each time you stop at a signal and then move away from there, something very important for you is the pickup of the vehicle. Pickup of a vehicle can be measured by looking at the time taken for a vehicle to move from 0 km per hour speed to maybe 60 or even 100 km an hour. So let us have a quick revision. Coming to petrol engines are lighter, cheaper, it can produce higher power, hence seen in smaller vehicles. Now coming to diesel engines, they are heavier and they offer a lot of torque. Yes, as we discussed, torque means a better pickup. Now coming to a layman's language, something more important to us in torque would be that having higher torque helps us shift gears a lesser number of times. Not only that, having a good torque on the vehicle will help you overtake easily on a highway. That is the reason a diesel engine is preferred when we have a lot of highway drives to be done. Similarly, a high torque on a vehicle can also contribute to higher load carrying capacity. That is the reason most of the commercial vehicles like trucks, buses or heavy vehicles like a crane is all a diesel engine driven. Of course, some disadvantages of a diesel engine would be they are heavier in weight, and not only that, they are larger in size and they are more costlier to maintain compared to a petrol engine. Let's have a look at this calculation, and I'm sure this will help you decide whether to go for a diesel or a petrol engine. To understand this calculation easier, I have taken an example of Ford EcoSport ambient variant. So here I have taken the ex-showroom prices of the petrol as well as diesel vehicle. As you see here, the difference between a petrol and diesel comes to 50,000 rupees. And if you look at the road tax difference comes to 7,790 because of the difference in the ex-showroom price. So the total upfront cost that you need to pay additional for a diesel engine comes to 57,790 rupees. Similarly, let us look at the annual expenses that we incur on a car which is a petrol and a diesel. Coming to a petrol engine, the insurance per year for a new car comes to 42,776, whereas that of a diesel comes to 44,615. The difference comes to about 1,839 rupees. Of course, as years pass by, there would be depreciated value, but still the difference will come to around 1,800 every year. Similarly, like I told you earlier, the maintenance cost of a diesel engine would be slightly higher than that of a petrol. In this case, let us consider an average of 2 to 3,000 rupees, which comes to about 2,500 rupees additional per year as the maintenance cost. Similarly, due to the difference in ex-showroom price, there is a difference in the EMI that we pay per month for the car. So if you look at this EMI given here, which is 13,806 for a petrol per month. Similarly, for a diesel engine, it would be 14,649. So if you look at the difference and multiply that into 12 months, annually, that would be 10,116. Not only that, since we saw the upfront price difference of 57,790 here, I am going to calculate the interest on this amount paid at the rate of 6.1% per annum. That comes to about 3,525 rupees annually. So the total additional cost for buying a diesel engine in a year comes to 16,141. Now, to understand the fuel cost, I have taken the fuel efficiency mentioned for this vehicle as per ARAI, and I have taken the prices of fuel as on 23rd December 2020 at Bangalore. So if you see here, the fuel cost per kilometer for a petrol EcoSport would come to about 5.44 rupees. Whereas for diesel, since the fuel efficiency is higher and the fuel cost is slightly lower, the fuel cost per kilometer comes to 3.61 rupees. So let me just summarize this for you. Comparing a diesel to a petrol engine, the upfront difference comes to 57,790. Then the additional cost incurred for using a diesel engine compared to a petrol engine will come to 16,141. And the fuel cost on a petrol engine comes to 5.44 rupees per kilometer, and for a diesel comes to 3.61 rupees per kilometer. So with all this data, we have calculated the fuel expenses and cost of running the car for the entire year based on the number of kilometers that we drive a month. So if you see here, for the first instance, if you drive 100 kilometers per month, for a petrol car, the fuel expense will come to about 6,529, whereas the diesel car would come to 4,331. Of course, the diesel car looks cheap, is it not? But if I add the additional expenses that I incur for owning a diesel car, which we discussed in the previous image, that is 16,141. If you add that to 4,331, the total running cost for the year comes to 20,472. So if you are driving 100 kilometers per month, even though you save slightly on the fuel cost on a diesel car, but if you look at the overall cost of running for a year, the petrol car is still much cheaper. Similarly, we have done this calculation for 200, 300, 400 and so on. If you drive up to 700 kilometers a month, it makes sense to go for a petrol car because the complete cost of running the car for a year comes to 45,703, which is again lower than that of a diesel car. But as on date, it is very clear that unless you drive an average of 700 kilometers a month, petrol still makes sense. So now that you have seen the calculations, I am sure you have a very clear idea whether to go for a petrol or a diesel engine. If you still have any questions, please do comment them below this video and we will get back to you on that. So with that, this is Srikanth Rajan signing off until we catch up on our next video. Goodbye.